Hey guys, so the video was originally going to be like a 3 hour long story slash deep dive thing about this awesome Nuzlocking event that I was taking part in, the strategies I used, and generally how I went about winning the thing. But the video got stuck in editor hell, completely my fault. My script was just way too long and things got out of hand. And as of recording this, I'm already in the next event a year later. So I decided to make a shorter video real fast. Sorry about that, but anyways, I hope you enjoy the vid and have a nice day. Like how any good story begins, I was scrolling through twitter.com, as any mentally stable person does. That's when I found it. Nuzlocke&Load 2. The largest, probably, Nuzlocke event out there, and open to all streamers, big, small, or new. All organized by the legend himself, Whistler Plays. It was divided into 3 categories of difficulty. I, of course, entered the hardest one, because I'm stupid, because I love a challenge. So let's get into it, shall we? First off is the game, this time being the second easiest entry into the series, Sword and Shield. But perhaps the rules will make things more interesting, maybe. For the hardcore category, we had all the basic Nuzlocke rules. 1 encounter per area, though we can only catch the random encounters, not the overworld encounters. If a Pokemon faints, it can no longer be used. No duplicate Pokemon, including different evolution stages of the same species. No using items in battle. Held items are fine though. And a few other rules I'll bring up once they become relevant. You know, because viewer engagement or something. Not that I have that. Next is the rankings. They're first decided by progress, then deaths, then time. And even after all that, by some incomprehensibly minuscule chance that there is a tie after all of that, it is then decided by number of attempts. A decent system for an event of this scale. Well, we have the rules in the game. We can start, right?
No.
We have a whole month before the event starts, buddy. A lot of shit goes down before I begin my real run. This is also a story about character development, not just a recap of a successful Nuzlocke. So let's set the stage, shall we? I enter this place of competition, my hands shaking. Over 100 gathered here, all ready to test themselves. I'm sure I won't win, but I can't fail. Not on this stage I've walked onto. Am I nervous or excited? I just don't know. Then, something unfamiliar strikes me. Something wonderful. Over 100 here, all gathered in sheer love for the game. A sporting air quelled my fears of failure. It was no longer about success. It was about making new friends and good memories. I could take it easy in just 5. And that's what I did. Until they appeared. They rolled in upon this place like a thunderstorm over a meadow, arrogantly flashing their knowledge, rumblings of their ego echoing through the sky. Though flowers don't have eyes nor ears, but I do. Yet the meadow accepted the rain, and I was left to bear it. I tried to distance myself from the storm, I tried to keep away from them. But when I warned others of potential challenges to come, they showed their face once again. They spoke down to me. Spoke down to me like they spoke down to everyone else they view as inferior. Whatever words those were, broke open whatever cracks there were hidden within me. No, not broken. There's nothing broken, but freed. Freed what? Freed myself. My old self. The person I had to hide away for so long, I forgot he was here. The only person who can win. I stand in this place of competition, a single mission in mind. Over 100 gathered here. Against them all, I'll test myself. I'm sure I'll win, but that's not enough. I must crush them. Am I excited? I'm not even sure if it's still me. I had 2 weeks before this event began, and for 2 weeks, I practiced and plotted. I crafted my master plan. In order to crush this event, I needed something consistent to eliminate any consequence of bad luck. Something fast to claim my spot at first by the widest of margins. And, most importantly, I needed something unreplicable. So my strategy cannot be used against me. Now let me introduce you to the Pokemon of this strategy. Firstly is my starter, Wooloo. As per the hardcore rules, our starter must be replaced with the first Wooloo we see. But this is okay. It will remain useful up until the very end. My Route 1 encounter will be either Blipbug or the inconsistent but faster Caterpie. Blipbug's usefulness ends at the first Bait fight, but is absolutely necessary for it. Caterpie carries the same role, and much more. My Route 2 encounter is Rookidee, a mon I need for Milo, Bay, and Opal, as well as being a strong generalist option. Already, the odds of getting these encounters are rough. Blipbug is a 30% encounter rate, Rookidee is a 25%, and Caterpie is at only 15%. To get 2 of these in succession, and with so much dialogue in between, it was a truly brutal affair that cost me hundreds of attempts and hours of my life. But alas, we ball. We got Magikarp available in a slew of locations and is guaranteed through Dupe's Claws. I need this one for too many fights to count, as Gyarados continues to be the best Nuzlocke-mon ever. Choodle, my Route 4 or Motostoke encounter, which, like Blipbug, we use for one fight and never again. That fight is Kabu. My North Lake Mylock encounter is Barboach, which is almost guaranteed through Dupe's Claws after catching Magikarp, with only a 2% chance of Basculin. This is unnecessary, however, it is an excellent backup for finishing fights if any plans go awry. Spoiler alert, some plans go awry. It's just the nature of the game. Litwick, my Motostoke gym encounter, and a very risky catch, is required for Bay, Piers, Oleana, Rose, and Leon. needless to say, an endgame tool. That's for sure. And lastly, Oddish, my East Lake Axwell, or Rolling Fields encounter. The reason my run during this event was unreplicable, as Oddish can only be encountered during certain weather. You see, in this event, the rules forbid changing or desyncing the Switch's clock, and in this game, encounters change with the weather. Weather that changes daily and in set patterns. Meaning, before the event began, I had scouted ahead for the weather throughout the entire wild area for the entire month-and-a-half length of the event, and I found the only viable days I could attempt this run. May 9th, May 14th, May 23rd, May 29th, and June 6th. But I can't use all of them. No. I can't give anyone any more chances than I need to. So immediately, I can strike the first 3 out of possibility. And so, I kept mostly quiet until it was time, watching silently, gathering precious information from my competitors and my enemy, until ultimately, the 29th would arrive. Dozens of resets go by in the span of hours, until I finally get my real run started, and I can already show you the first trick that I use. I don't know if there's already a name for this trick. There definitely already is, but these roaming overworld Pokemon, once they've spawned in, you can save your game, and those mons will always be the same. And due to this rule set, my run doesn't officially begin until that Wooloo is caught. So I prepared my Wooloo beforehand, resetting until I found one with a great nature, the fluffy ability, and it was at least level 5, eliminating my need to grind. And that would be my Wooloo. Every single time. This trick alone would save me countless real-life hours. My Route 1 encounter this time was Blipbug. Unfortunate, yet I must continue on my first deathless run. And Route 2 is Rookidee. But I already told you that. The first hop fight is easily handled. Wooloo growls 6 times and Rookidee sweeps with Hone Claws and Power Trip. This brings me to the wild area, where we pick up Oddish without needing that Budew first to increase our chances. I'm sure Choodle will be just as easy. It's not Magikarp. Here's the one. Are you kidding me? On Choodle. That's what I didn't want to happen. I stand corrected and in front of Bayday, where our now Dottler will see the end of its usefulness. But I am thankful for it. It is one of the very few options available to me that absolutely counters Bayday's first team. Its typing, stats, and screens let it wall Bayday to a frankly hilarious effectiveness. And normally, at this point in the game, Bayday's Pokemon hit really hard. It's tough to get out unscathed, but Dottler guarantees it. Thank you, Dottler. Now, back to finding Choodle. That wasted so much time. That's thrice now Goldeen has screwed me over. I rush into the first gym with only Corvusquire and Oddish at the level cap of 20. And until the last stretch of the game, I won't bring up level caps again. Because I won't need to grind. And that's because of another hardcore rule. You cannot advance before defeating all trainers on a route. And conveniently, if you do that, you'll be perfectly leveled to handle the next gym with no issues whatsoever. But in case you're curious, here are the level caps. Now back to the first gym. Milo is easily taken down by Corvusquire. I set up 4 Hone Claws, and combined with the boost from the Sharpbeak item that we found on Route 4, we pluck right through Dynamax Eldegoss. 7 gyms left. Now hold on again. Why didn't I Dynamax there? Well, that's another hardcore rule. We cannot Dynamax. That's meant to really turn up the difficulty, which it does for a normal run. But for a deathless run, it really just limits my strategy to 2 steps. 1, set up. 2, sweep. And that is reflected in my Pokemon of choice. 3 of my Pokemon have great stat boosting moves, and it's only a matter of making a safe space to set up. Anyways, then we come to Nessa, where my little guy starts to grow. But just at the battle's climax, finish her off with a mighty blow, making her Dreadnought explode. I came out on top this time. 6 gyms left. After the most awkward dinner ever, where we don't even eat, of course, we beat Beidei's ass. And Marnie too, but the win wasn't quite as easy here. The real challenge lies in this gym. Litwick. No, seriously, this thing is top 3 most difficult points in this run. I have to catch this thing here. But there is so much getting in the way. To start, this is a 3-way battle. And this gym trainer can absolutely screw us over. So, we focus on them first, killing Sizzlipede. Then, dodging reason number 2 for this fight being a top 3 most difficult fight. Will-O-Wisp. A burn cuts our offense in half, on top of the chip damage, but now we're able to finish off the trainer just before reason number 3 shows itself. Hex. If you don't know, Hex doubles its power if the target has a status condition, say like a burn or something. I don't know. That's like a weird example. So getting hit by that could end our deathless run just 3 hours in. So we bite the candle, making sure it lives by being low enough level. And I save myself for another turn with a Rostberry that I picked earlier. A failed catch and a huge prediction later, I finally catch Litwick. Kabu, thankfully, is not as much of an issue. He's simply no match for Gargamax the Destroyer, as the Rostberry cures his burn and Rock Tomb lands, dropping Ninetales' speed just enough to outspeed and kill. Arcanine, however, does get the better of Gargamax the Destroyer, causing so many flinches and dodging so many Rock Tombs, forcing me to switch to Double and growl and headbutt until Corvusquire can finish it. Gyarados comes in for his ace, Centiskorch, dropping its attack with Intimidate, and in combination with Shell Bell, we can tank G-Max Centiferno, and we 2-shot it with Waterfall. 5 gyms left. On the way to Stow-on-Side, I picked up a Sunstone in the wild area to get a Blossom, and on Route 6, this Metronome trainer can be an issue if Taunt didn't shut her down completely. And I think that's all that happened on the way here. Bay is another easy fight. I lead Gyarados for the Intimidate, then switch to Litwick, and burn Hitmontop, who cannot hurt Litwick at all. After switching until Hitmontop is sufficiently weakened, Corvisquire, holding leftovers, is free to Hone Claws until we sweep with Pluck, and the Drill Peck we learn mid-fight. 4 gyms left. Opal is by far the easiest gym leader, and that's because of her gimmick and Corviknight. The sheer bulk, along with the steel typing and leftovers, lets us set up without worry. And if you answer Opal's questions correctly, she helps you win. So yeah, Steel Wing for the win. 3 gyms left. And what a next gym it is. We have another top 3 hardest fights here. Gordy was one I spent a lot of time perfecting before the event started, because a lot can go wrong here, and most of it stems from Shuckle. Barbicle goes down to a Giga Drain, but Shuckle changes our strategy depending on what it does. We hit it with a Stun Spore, and it gets us right away with Power Split, the very move that changes my plan. And I wish I could predict this move, but in all my practice, it just seems random. I don't know what to say, it just seems random. Either way, even with our neutered offenses, we need to max out with Quiver Dance and get to Colossal at full HP. And Moonlight will help me get there. Blossom takes down Shuckle in 2 hits, and still 1-hit KOs Stonejourner. By the way, if we were minus speed because of Shuckle's Rock Tomb, we died to Stonejourner, so that's cool. Now here at Colossal is where the second plan shows up. If Power Split never happened, Blossom could kill right here. But instead, I have to stall out the Dynamax. So let's get it. Gordy could go for 2 things here. Max Flare, a guaranteed kill, or his signature move, G-Max Volcalith, which does not kill. So, to save Blossom, I gave it a Focus Sash from the GOAT himself, Mr. Focus. But, of course, he used G-Max Volcalith, so the Sash is saved. I send in Gyarados to tank the Max Flare and Intimidate. Then a Protect gets us through the last of his Dynamax. Whiscash is now free to clean it up. 2 gyms left. Next up is Piers. This is the only gym that doesn't use Dynamax, so this should be simple. Both Piers and I lead our Intimidate users, but I switch to Chandelure to dodge the Fake Out, and on the next turn, we burn Scrafty. 1 more Intimidate sets us up enough for Blossom, holding leftovers, to use Quiver Dance 3 times. Now, Scrafty does have Sand Attack, but it really does not like to use it for some reason. Thank God. Moonblast destroys the rest of his team. There's only 1 gym left. The weather spammer himself, Raihan. This one was fun to figure out. It's not tough, but being a double battle, the amount of stuff I have to be aware of at any given point is increased by a lot. But this is a computer, and I'm a person, so it's predictable, and I'm unhinged. Let's get it. Raihan leads Flygon and Gigalith, setting up Sandstorm. I lead Blossom and Gyarados, intimidating both of Raihan's Pokemon. Now, because Gyarados is on the field, Raihan sees a nasty Thunder Punch from Flygon, and Gigalith has to use Stealth Rock, because rocks aren't up yet. so I switched to Dubwool to tank the Thunder Punch with help from its fluffy ability, which halves the damage from contact moves. Blossom, though, misses its Stun Spore, which is a letdown. Now, at our second board state, with Dubwool out, Gigalith now sees a super effective body press in that spot, and Flygon wants to use Breaking Swipe to hit both Mons and lower my attack. My response is to switch Dubwool for Gyarados to tank a now resisted body press and get another Intimidate. Blossom then lands the second Stun Spore. But wait, what happened there? Blossom didn't take Sandstorm damage, and Gyarados wasn't hurt by Stealth Rocks? Well, in case you couldn't tell, Blossom is wearing its safety goggles, and Gyarados is slaying in those heavy-duty boots. Two items I'm sure were made available specifically for this fight, especially considering the goggles being available only after Piers. But anyways, we're back to our first board state. Only difference is now Gigalith will body press our Blossom instead of setting up Stealth Rock, which is fine, we can take it. We switch to board 2 and Quiver Dance. Next, back to board 1 and get our second Quiver Dance. Here is where our attack begins. Giga Drain the Gigalith and protect Gyarados from Thunder Punch. With Gigalith out of the picture, I no longer need to bait the body press. So, now Whiscash can come in to dodge those punches. Giga Drain kills Sandaconda, but brings back the Sandstorm, which currently affects neither of my Pokemon. Now comes Raihan's ace, G-Max Duraludon, but it's no match for a boosted Moonblast, or two, and the rest of my Mons. And next turn, the Flygon is finally put out of its misery. With the final gym done, I'm about to enter the last 2 hours of the game. So I decided to end stream and pick it up the next day. I stepped away from my PC, and while I sighed, no relief came. I tried to sleep. Though my eyes were closed, I was kept wide awake. For hours, the sense of finality of it all, the anxiety of a loss looming ahead, the rush of vanquishing a nemesis, it all swirled around within me, eating me from the inside. And it made me feel so alive. Tomorrow, I would either win it all or fall short. Having all those dozens of hours be for nothing. Losing to them. But I refuse to let someone like that even have a taste of glory. For everyone's sake. The next day, after 4 hours of sleep and a 10-hour work shift, the entire time, only the Nuzlocke on my mind, I start my last stream of Nuzlocke&Load 2. Marnie is our first real battle of this stream. It's her Liepard versus my Gyarados. The plan is to use Dragon Dance 4 times, and conveniently, she didn't use Torment until the third dance, so we can protect and dance again. We Ice Fang the Liepard, so we can Waterfall Morpeko next turn. For Scrafty, we protect and Waterfall. Then Ice Fang the Toxicroak, so we can one-hit KO G-Max Grimmsnarl with a Waterfall. That's the semifinals done. Weird that it's only one round, though. Huh. Oleana is the next major fight, and she's not one that we can sweep with one Mon. I lead Chandelure and get around the double team with sheer force of will, taking down Frostlass. Milotic comes in, so I switch to Blossom. and after 2 Giga Drains, I realize I need to dance a bit to kill this thing. For Salazzle, Chandelure comes back in to tank some resisted poison moves and 2-shot with Shadow Ball. Serena is in, and 2 Ice Fangs from Gyarados does it. Lastly is G-Max Garbodor. Corviknight comes in and tanks a Max Rockfall that we baited by having Gyarados out. This is really nice for extra chip damage. From here, 3 Drill Pecks will do it, since its ability is weak armor, dropping its defense each time we hit. On to the finals. Bayday is first, and we go into it with only Chandelure and Gyarados. This is because our level cap at this point is 55 by the time of the Raihan battle. So, to prevent overleveling, I have to box everyone I don't need. Fight's easy though. Burn Mawile, it can't hurt Gyarados, dance, and sweep. Nessa is well upgraded with some real threats on her team now. But all we'll need is Corviknight, Gyarados, and Blossom. Corviknight, holding a Choice Band, nearly kills with Drill Peck, forcing a switch with Emergency Exit. Barraskewda dies to Drill Peck, and Golisopod comes back in, gets healed with a full restore, and is almost killed again, now forcing out Seaking. The Mon will be setting up on. Blossom comes in to paralyze and tank a Mega Horn. Gyarados is now free to dance and then sweep. Bay is even easier. Gyarados can set up by itself on her first Pokemon. Hawlucha sees Bounce here. So, we dance. Then, once we protect, it has no clue what to do. So it'll start using random moves, which we resist. With help from leftovers, we can dance and sweep. Reaching Raihan raises our level cap, so now I can bring the whole gang. Chandelure balls out on the Torkoal, and Flygon comes in. Gyarados comes in for the Intimidate, and much like last time, we'll be switching between him and Dubwool, tanking Dragon Claws with Fluffy, dodging Earthquakes with Flying typing, and dropping that attack stat to -6. So Corviknight can come in and is free to set up the Hone Claws powered trip sweep. Our next fight is the final member of my top 3 most difficult fights. Rose. Leading off with his Escavalier and my Chandelure, we can already see why this fight is difficult. Chandelure's only Fire-type move available to it, outside of randomized daily TR moves, is Overheat, an attack that drops our special attack by 2 stages, and with only 90 accuracy. Luckily, we don't miss, and with Choice Specs, we can kill Escavalier and Berserker. If we miss any overheats, there is a good chance that the run ends here. And that is why this is top 3. We try to paralyze the Kling Clang, but we miss. So Whiscash, the ultimate backup plan, cleans him up. Ferrothorn arrives, and we try the overheat, and miss. But Arceus granted us one more chance. Ferrothorn used Curse. What a nerd! And we don't miss again. Gyarados intimidates the Copperajah and tanks a Max Bind Storm. Next, we bulldoze, tank another hit. Then, with help from leftovers, protect to stall out his Dynamax. Corviknight chips away with Drill Peck, and Dubwool finishes it off with Double Kick. Only easy fights from here on out, boys. Let's go, let's go! Eternatus was a fun puzzle. With stats like these and coverage like this, it could one-hit kill something of mine, or it could two-hit kill anything of mine, meaning switching in isn't an option. So I slap a choice band on Gyarados, feed him the rare candies that I've been collecting thus far, and teach him Avalanche, a move that doubles its power if we're hit that turn. And since Eternatus only has attacking moves, well, you know. Eternamax Eternatus is just plain easy. It's really hard to lose something here. But now, only one fight remains. Leon. Galar's unbeatable champion. He's pretty easy. Since I don't have Butterfree, I have to switch between Chandelure and Dubwool while protecting to stall out Shadow Ball and Flash Cannon. The next step is for Corviknight to set up Light Screen while holding Light Clay for extra turns on that Light Screen. Now, Gyarados is free to dance to his heart's content. And just as Aegislash starts to struggle, we finish this run. Now I stand, free from the storm. I had fought with every ounce of my being. I was tired. I was relieved. And I was victorious. It was all so peaceful. Until Rhydog almost gave me a heart attack. The absolute mad lad put up an even faster time than me. But he did lose one Pokemon on the way. A well-fought battle. It was an honor to compete with you. All of you. Despite my motivation, I did genuinely enjoy myself in this event. And I hope you all had fun too. Until next year. Later on, Whistler would host the Nuzlocke&Load awards stream, where everyone in the event would be celebrated, and I would take home the win in the hardcore division, and the award for biggest brain strategy. But I wonder what a Butterfree run would look like. Oh, okay, yeah, yeah. Yeah, makes sense.